Welcome back, everybody, and happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a good week. I know you've been working hard in class and getting used to being back in school, and I appreciate all of your effort. Today's warm up activity is going to be a pretty tricky one, but I want you to hang with me, and I'm going to provide any help that you need to understand. There will likely be some words here that you're not familiar with or you haven't heard before, but that's okay. It's really just meant to show you how prefixes and roots are put together to make words. And if you can see that, even if you're not sure exactly what every word is or how it's used, that's totally okay. So the first thing I want to point out is that we're focusing on prefixes, and we have 8 prefixes here. We also have 8 questions that we're being asked to look at, 8 words that we'll be creating here by putting together a prefix with a root. Now, each one of our roots has a meaning, and each one of our prefixes has a meaning. And we're going to use that information as clues to create the words that are being defined here. So, for example, re is a prefix that means back or again. And the word flex is a root that means bend. So we can make the word reflex, which means bent or turned or directed back. So these parts come together to create a word with a specific meaning that may or may not closely relate to the meaning of the prefix and the root. Sometimes it can be a little tricky. So let's take a look at number 2. We have a prefix for another word we're going to make that has the root flex. This time the word means bending around or curved. Which prefix do you think will go with the root flex? If you said circum, since it means around, you're exactly right. We can add the prefix circum to the word flex to make the word circumflex, which means bending around or curved. Now, I should say at this point that when I look at your page, you should have the same things written on your page that I'm writing here with Cami. So please make sure to follow along and add information to your page as we go. Okay, I've marked off the prefix circum since we've already used that one. Let's take a look at number 3. A prefix plus the root side, which means to sit or settle, is going to create a word that means to be in charge. What do you think we need to choose as a prefix? We need the prefix pre, which means before, because often when you're in charge of something, you stand in front or before the group. So pre plus side means preside or to be in charge. Number 4, prefix plus jure, which means right or oath, equals a word that means to command solemnly, especially under oath. So to command something solemnly or seriously, like something a judge might do. What prefix do you think it is? The prefix we need is add, which includes the meanings to, toward, and near. To adjure means to command solemnly, especially under oath. Number 5, the prefix added to the root funct, which means perform, creates a word that means no longer used or active. What prefix do you think we need? We need the prefix D, away or down. And I think about the fact that we need to maybe put something away when it's no longer being used or active. When something is defunct, it doesn't work anymore, or it's no longer used. Number 6, prefix plus crypt, which means conceal, equals a word that means to write in code or to encode. Yep, we need the prefix en, in, to put into code. To encrypt means to write in code, encrypt. Number 7, we need a prefix with the root dine, which means worth. So it creates a word that means deserved or appropriate. Which prefix do you think it is? We are going to use the prefix con, which means with or together. Condign is something that is deserved or appropriate. Condign. And finally, this should be pretty easy. A prefix plus seed creates a word that means to replace. Which prefix are we left with? We're going to make the word supersede. Supersede is to replace. Keep in mind, friends, that your page should look just like what you see here. So pause the video if you need to update your page or make any changes. Thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing your work.